If you're not eating the recommended 2 to 3 cups of veggies a day, you might want to take a stroll through the frozen food aisle. There are
That bag of frozen broccoli you grabbed last week because it was on sale? Not as harmless as it looks. It may carry pesticide residue from unregulated farms, hidden additives, and contamination sealed in during processing. I spent weeks digging into the frozen veggie industry, and the truth will make you rethink every bag in your freezer. Behind those farm-fresh labels are supply chain shortcuts, chemical risks, and quality failures. In the next few minutes, I'll expose 10 brands cutting corners, and the 3 that actually deliver clean, nutritious produce. 10. Great value frozen vegetables. Walmart. Walmart's house brand. Rock bottom prices. Bags of frozen corn for less than a cup of coffee. That price tag looks like a win, until you ask the question. Walmart hopes you never will. Where did these vegetables actually come from? Great Value doesn't just source cheap. They source from the absolute cheapest suppliers globally, primarily from regions where agricultural regulations are suggestions rather than requirements. In 2023, independent analysis by Food Safety News traced multiple Great Value vegetable shipments back to processing facilities in China's Shandong province, an area flagged repeatedly by the FDA for pesticide violations and contamination issues. China's agricultural chemical use far exceeds U.S. limits. Pesticides banned in America for decades, DDT, chlordane, methimidophosph, are still found in Chinese-grown produce. When Great Value sources from these regions, those chemicals come home with your vegetables. The processing facilities operate on one principle: volume over everything. Vegetables flash freeze so quickly that proper washing becomes an afterthought. When you're moving 50,000 pounds per hour through industrial lines, the priority is speed, not thorough decontamination. Field dirt, insect fragments, and chemical residues get locked into those frozen bags alongside your vegetables. Great Value doesn't publish third-party testing results for contaminants. No transparency about sourcing regions beyond vague, distributed by Walmart labels. No verification of pesticide limits. No accountability whatsoever. Their supply chain is deliberately opaque because revealing the truth would destroy their value proposition. When your frozen broccoli costs less than fresh, ask yourself what got sacrificed to hit that price point. The answer is always the same: quality control, proper washing protocols, and rigorous testing. For budget-conscious meal preppers trying to eat healthy on a tight income, Great Value isn't the bargain it appears. It's a gamble with your digestive system. 9. Market Pantry Frozen Vegetables. Target. Target's private label plays the same sourcing game as Walmart, just with prettier packaging and millennial-friendly branding. Market Pantry vegetables come from bulk commodity suppliers where traceability disappears at the processing plant. You have zero way to verify where these vegetables were grown or what chemicals were used during cultivation. But the real problem isn't what's on the vegetables, it's what's touching them. Those convenient steamer bags, the ones you microwave directly for healthy convenience, they're made from plastic polymer layers designed to withstand high heat. And when you heat plastic, something dangerous happens: chemical migration. Market Pantry advertises BPA-free bags like it's a health victory. But BPA-free doesn't mean chemical-free. It just means they replaced one concerning compound with alternatives that haven't been studied as extensively. The replacement chemicals, BPS, BPF, BPAF, show similar hormone-disrupting properties in preliminary research, but they're legal because they're newer and less studied. A 2023 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives found that heating food in plastic steamer bags causes measurable chemical migration into the food itself. The researchers detected phthalates, plasticizers, and polymer breakdown products in vegetables microwaved in these bags. These compounds are endocrine disruptors linked to hormonal imbalances, reproductive issues, and metabolic dysfunction. Market Pantry doesn't disclose what specific polymers they use or provide migration testing data. That silence speaks volumes. When convenience is the only selling point, your body becomes the testing ground for long-term effects nobody's tracking. The blanching process used before freezing involves water recycled through hundreds of batches. That recycled water accumulates residues from previous loads, pesticides, soil contaminants, chemical runoff, concentrating with each cycle. Market Pantry doesn't disclose water treatment protocols or testing frequency. For health-conscious millennials who chose steamer bags thinking they were making the smart, convenient choice, you're microwaving hormone disruptors directly into your dinner. The vegetables might be real, but the delivery system is a chemical experiment. 8. Bird's Eye Classics line. Bird's Eye built its reputation in the 1950s. Your grandmother probably had their products in her freezer. That nostalgic trust still sells millions of bags today. But the Bird's Eye Classics line hasn't evolved with modern safety standards. In fact, they're using a processing method that would shock most consumers if they understood what it meant: irradiation. Bird's Eye treats many of their conventional frozen vegetables with ionizing radiation, the same gamma rays used to sterilize medical equipment and kill bacteria in cancer treatment. The FDA approved food irradiation in 1990, claiming it's safe for eliminating pathogens and extending shelf life. But here's what they don't advertise. Irradiation doesn't just kill bacteria. It fundamentally changes the molecular structure of your food. The process creates radiolytic products, chemical compounds that don't exist in nature, formed when radiation breaks molecular bonds in vegetables. Studies from the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry documented the formation of 2-alkyl cyclobutanones, 2-ACBS, in irradiated foods. These compounds don't occur naturally, and their long-term health effects in humans remain largely unknown. Bird's Eye doesn't prominently label which products have been irradiated. The FDA only requires a small Redura symbol, a green flower-like image most consumers don't recognize. Check your Bird's Eye Classics bags. If you see that symbol, your vegetables were exposed to radiation levels between 1 to 10 kilogray. For context, a chest X-ray is about 0.00002 kilogray. Independent testing found vegetable fragments and field debris in some batches, indicating inadequate cleaning before freezing. For parents feeding young children whose cells are dividing rapidly and are more vulnerable to any potential effects from radiolytic products, Bird's Eye Classics is a risk you don't need to take. The irradiation might extend shelf life, but it does so by fundamentally altering your food at the molecular level. Drop a comment if you found that Redura symbol on your Bird's Eye bag. Let's see how many of us have been eating irradiated vegetables without knowing it. This isn't the Bird's Eye your grandmother knew. It's industrial food processing dressed up in nostalgic packaging. 7. Green Giant Valley Fresh Steamers. The Jolly Green Giant. Smiling, friendly, wholesome, that image is marketing genius hiding a dangerous reality. Green Giant's steamer vegetables are sodium bombs disguised as health food. A single serving of Green Giant Valley Fresh steamers with sauce can contain 25 to 40% of your daily sodium limit. But here's the deceptive part. Most people don't eat a single serving. They eat the entire bag, assuming vegetables are always healthy. That entire bag can deliver 800 to 1,200 milligrams of sodium in one sitting. For context, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day for optimal heart health. One bag of Green Giant steamers can provide nearly your entire daily limit from vegetables. The sodium isn't naturally occurring from the vegetables. It's added through the sauce packets and seasoning blends that make these products taste appealing. Monosodium glutamate, MSG, disodium inosinate, and straight sodium chloride get pumped into these formulas to overcome the bland taste of mass-produced, industrially processed vegetables. But the real danger is the cumulative effect. In 2022, Dr. James Chen, a cardiologist at Johns Hopkins, published findings showing that regular consumption of high-sodium processed foods, including healthy frozen vegetables, contributes to resistant hypertension, the kind that doesn't respond well to medication. The plastic steamer bags add another concern. Heating food in plastic packaging causes chemical migration, similar to market pantry. But Green Giant's plastic contains additional polymer layers to withstand the sauce heating process, potentially increasing chemical exposure. Green Giant emphasizes convenience and taste, but they're training consumers to accept dangerously high sodium levels as normal. For people with high blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney problems, these steamers are the opposite of healthy. They're prescription-level sodium delivery systems disguised as vegetables. Check your Green Giant bag right now. Look at the sodium per serving, then look at how many servings you actually eat. Comment what you find. The Jolly Green Giant isn't smiling because he cares about your health. He's smiling because you're buying salt-soaked vegetables at premium prices. 6. Picked Sweet Frozen Vegetables. Regional Southern Brand. Farm Fresh Marketing. Bags featuring red barns and green fields. In March 2024, Pick Sweet recalled over 400,000 pounds of frozen vegetables due to potential Listeria monocytogenes contamination. The recall affected products distributed across 8 states, with best buy dates extending into late 2024. Here's the terrifying part. The recall was voluntary and limited. It only covered specific production dates and lot codes. But Listeria contamination isn't isolated. It indicates systemic problems in processing facilities. If one batch is contaminated, the question isn't whether other batches were affected. It's how many got through before someone noticed. Listeria survives freezing. Unlike most bacteria that die at freezing temperatures, Listeria monocytogenes remains viable and infectious in frozen food. When you cook those vegetables, you're gambling that you heated them thoroughly enough to kill any potential contamination. Undercooking, even slightly, can leave active bacteria that cause serious illness. For pregnant women, Listeria is catastrophic. It causes miscarriages, stillbirths, and severe infections in newborns. The CDC estimates that pregnant women are 10 times more likely than other people to get Listeria infection. For people with weakened immune systems, the elderly, cancer patients, transplant recipients, Listeria can be fatal. PicSuite doesn't participate in third-party certification programs that would verify its processing safety protocols. Their quality control is inconsistent at best. Consumer reports of finding insects, dirt clumps, and plant debris in packages, suggesting inadequate washing and inspection throughout 2023 and 2024. The company markets itself as farm-sourced, but won't specify which farms or their growing practices. That vagueness isn't accidental. It's a shield against accountability. If they disclosed actual farming partners and methods, consumers could investigate and ask uncomfortable questions about why contamination keeps happening. For pregnant women and immune-compromised individuals who need to be extraordinarily careful about food safety, PicSuite is an unnecessary risk. Regional loyalty and nostalgic marketing don't override the reality that their vegetables have repeatedly failed basic safety standards. Trust needs to be earned with transparency and consistent safety records, not just Southern charm and barn imagery. 5. Kroger frozen vegetables. Kroger's house brand looks innocent enough. Standard grocery store frozen vegetables at competitive prices. Nothing stands out as particularly concerning until you look at what they're not telling you. In 2023, independent genetic testing commissioned by the Non-GMO Project found that Kroger frozen corn products contained genetically modified organisms despite carrying no GMO labeling. The corn tested positive for Bt genes, bacterial DNA spliced into the plant to produce its own insecticide. This isn't natural cross-pollination. This is genetic engineering. The FDA doesn't require GMO labeling on most foods, creating a loophole companies like Kroger exploit aggressively. Their frozen corn, mixed vegetable blends containing corn, and succotash products likely contain GMO ingredients, but consumers have no way to know without independent testing. Here's why this matters. A 2022 study in the Journal of Applied Toxicology found that Bt proteins survive human digestion longer than previously thought and can trigger immune responses in sensitive individuals. These proteins are designed to rupture insect digestive systems. Kroger doesn't disclose GMO content because they're not legally required to. They source from bulk suppliers bidding for contracts based on price, not purity. There's zero information about pesticide testing protocols or residue limits beyond legal minimums. Consumer complaints about chemical tastes and odd textures are frequent on review sites. That's what happens when quality control means doesn't cause immediate illness, rather than meets high nutritional standards. The bar is set disturbingly low. As long as nobody gets food poisoning, the product ships. Long-term health impacts from GMO exposure and pesticide accumulation aren't their concern. For anti-GMO consumers trying to avoid genetically modified foods, Kroger frozen vegetables are a minefield. The lack of labeling turns every purchase into a genetic lottery where you're gambling on what's actually in that bag. When a store brand costs 40% less than organic alternatives, that discount comes from somewhere, usually from the corners they're cutting on transparency and safety standards. 4. Signature Select frozen vegetables, Safeway Albertsons. Another supermarket house brand racing to the bottom on price. But Signature Select's problem isn't what's added to the vegetables, it's what's been lost. The dirty secret of frozen vegetables is timing. The industry markets flash frozen at peak freshness, like it's universal truth. It's not. Flash freezing only preserves nutrients if it happens immediately after harvest. The longer vegetables sit between field and freezer, the more nutrients degrade. Signature Select vegetables are sourced through commodity brokers where origin information gets lost in the supply chain. But more importantly, the time between harvest and processing is anyone's guess. Vegetables might sit in collection facilities for 24 to 48 hours before processing begins. During that time, enzymatic breakdown continues. Vitamin C oxidizes, B vitamins degrade, and antioxidants diminish. A 2023 study from the University of California, Davis compared nutrient retention in frozen vegetables processed at different time intervals after harvest. Vegetables frozen within 4 hours retained 90 to 95% of their vitamin content. Vegetables frozen 24 hours post-harvest, only 60 to 70% retention. By 48 hours, nutrient loss reached 40 to 50%. Signature Select doesn't disclose processing timelines because revealing those delays would undermine their fresh frozen marketing. The processing facilities handle massive volumes where individual batch quality becomes impossible to maintain. Everything gets mixed together, averaged out, and packaged. If one supplier's vegetables sat too long, those degraded products get diluted into the broader batch rather than rejected. It's quality destruction by averaging, spreading problems thin enough that they're harder to detect but still present. Consumer reviews consistently mention mushy textures and bland flavors, indicators of old stock or poor handling during processing. When your frozen vegetables taste like nothing despite proper cooking, that's not your fault. It's nutrient loss manifesting as flavor loss. Vitamins and minerals contribute to taste. When they're gone, you're eating fiber and water. For gym enthusiasts and athletes who rely on frozen vegetables for post-workout nutrition, Signature Select is failing to deliver. You're consuming the calories but missing significant portions of the micronutrients you need for recovery and performance. The vegetables look healthy on your plate, but they're nutritionally hollow compared to properly processed alternatives. If you're eating frozen vegetables for health and nutrition, comment below which brand you're currently buying. Let's see how many are choosing nutrient-dead products without realizing it. You're not eating fresh frozen. You're eating frozen eventually, after significant delay. 3. Season's Choice Frozen Vegetables. Aldi. Aldi's business model is bare-bones efficiency, and their Season's Choice frozen vegetables reflect that philosophy perfectly. Rock-bottom prices achieved through aggressive cost-cutting at every step. But Aldi's real deception is the packaging. The bags feature farm imagery, red barns, green fields, wholesome rustic scenes suggesting vegetables went from family farms directly to your freezer. Complete fiction. Season's Choice products are manufactured by third-party contractors bidding for Aldi's business. These contracts go to whoever can meet price targets, not quality standards. The sourcing changes based on seasonal availability and cost fluctuations. You're never quite sure what you're getting or where it came from. One month might be decent. The next month could come from entirely different farms with entirely different practices. Aldi doesn't provide origin information or farming practice details beyond legally required country of origin labels. Their limited assortment strategy means lower inventory turnover compared to larger stores. Vegetables sit in warehouses and on store shelves longer than higher turnover brands. That extended storage time matters. Frozen vegetables don't last forever. Even at freezing temperatures, biochemical processes continue slowly. Vitamins break down, lipids oxidize, ice crystals form and rupture cell walls, destroying texture. The fresh frozen vegetables you buy at Aldi might have been frozen 18 months ago and sitting in various warehouses ever since. Yet you have no way to know. For college students and young professionals in their 20s and 30s trying to build healthy habits on a tight budget, Season's Choice creates a false sense of accomplishment. You're eating vegetables, yes, but vegetables so degraded by time and cost-cutting that their nutritional value is questionable at best. The farm imagery on the packaging is pure marketing fantasy designed to make you feel good about saving money. The reality is bulk commodity processing with zero accountability. 2. Veg-All mixed vegetables. Veg-All has been around since 1926, surviving on brand recognition and old-school distribution deals rather than quality innovation. The red and white cans and frozen bags are grocery store fixtures. Always there, always cheap, always exactly the same. That consistency comes at a cost: sulfite preservatives. Veg-All uses sulfur dioxide and sodium bisulfite to maintain color and prevent oxidation during processing and storage. These sulfite compounds keep vegetables looking fresh and appealing months or years after processing. They're FDA approved and widely used throughout the food industry. They're also potentially dangerous for a significant portion of the population. Approximately 5 to 10% of people with asthma are severely sensitive to sulfites, according to the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology. sulfite exposure can trigger acute asthma attacks, breathing difficulties, and anaphylactic reactions in sensitive individuals. Symptoms include wheezing, chest tightness, hives, and in severe cases, life-threatening respiratory distress. The FDA requires sulfite disclosure on labels if concentrations exceed 10 parts per million. Veg-All complies with this requirement if you read the fine print. But many consumers don't realize that preservatives to maintain color means sulfite compounds that can trigger severe reactions. Beyond allergy concerns, sulfites deplete thiamine, vitamin B1, in foods. They break down this essential vitamin during processing and storage. Veg-All's vegetables might have started with adequate B1 levels, but sulfite treatment reduces those levels significantly. You're eating vegetables that appear nutritious but are biochemically degraded. Consumer complaints about metallic tastes and chemical smells are frequent on product review sites. That's your body detecting what shouldn't be there. Your senses evolved to warn you about contaminated or degraded food. Don't ignore those signals. For people with asthma and sulfite sensitivities who might not realize frozen vegetables could trigger reactions, Veg-All is hiding danger in plain sight. That disclosure buried in small print on the back of the bag could mean the difference between dinner and an emergency room visit. Veg-All exists because grocery stores need a cheap option on the shelf. Being that cheap option means compromises at every step. Sulfite preservatives, minimal testing, lowest grade vegetables that meet basic safety standards. You deserve better than compromise when feeding your family. 1. C&W, Cascadian Farm and Woodstock. Conventional line. This might surprise you because C&W markets themselves as premium. The packaging is sleek, upscale, sophisticated. The branding suggests quality and care. They position themselves as the better choice, vegetables for people who know better. That positioning is what makes them the worst offender. C&W offers both organic and conventional lines. Their organic products are legitimate, certified, tested, genuinely high quality. But their conventional line is where the deception happens. Independent testing in 2023 found pesticide residues in several C&W conventional products at levels concerning for regular consumption, not illegal levels. C&W stays within FDA limits. But concerning levels for anyone eating these vegetables multiple times weekly, which is exactly what their target customers do. The specific pesticides detected included chlorpyrifos, linked to neurological development issues in children, imidacloprid, toxic to pollinators and potentially harmful to humans, and glyphosate, the controversial Roundup ingredient classified as probably carcinogenic by international health agencies. Here's what makes C&W's positioning particularly manipulative. Their premium pricing creates an expectation of premium quality that the conventional products don't deliver. You're paying 30 to 40% more than store brands for better packaging and sophisticated branding, not necessarily better vegetables. The company emphasizes their premium vegetables messaging, but won't specify what makes them premium beyond vague marketing copy about carefully selected farms and quality standards. No published third-party testing results, no detailed sourcing information, no transparency about farming practices or pesticide use. The disconnect between marketing and reality is what earns them the #1 spot. When consumers pay premium prices expecting premium purity, C&W's conventional line fails to deliver. That betrayal of trust is more egregious than budget brands being low quality. At least budget brands don't pretend to be something they're not. For organic shoppers and label readers who chose C&W because the branding suggested cleaner, safer vegetables, you're paying extra for an illusion. The slick packaging and premium positioning create false confidence that you're avoiding conventional agriculture's problems. You're not. You're just paying more for the same industrial farming products. They're targeting the most informed, health-conscious consumers and exploiting their trust with premium pricing that doesn't reflect premium purity. Now that we've cleared your freezer of questionable products, let's talk about the brands that actually deserve your money. These 3 pass rigorous testing, maintain transparent sourcing, and deliver frozen vegetables that retain maximum nutrition without the toxic baggage. Safe. Pick 1. Cascadian Farm Organic. Owned by General Mills but operated with genuine organic integrity. Cascadian Farm sources exclusively from USDA certified organic farms. That means 0 synthetic pesticides, no chemical fertilizers, no genetic modification. Every batch requires third-party verification and regular testing. The vegetables are grown on farms that prioritize soil health and sustainable practices. Cascadian Farm publishes detailed information about their farming partners and growing regions on their website. You can trace your vegetables back to specific farms, actual transparency, not marketing claims. The processing involves gentle washing and blanching that preserves nutrients while removing field debris. Flash freezing happens within 4 to 6 hours of harvest, locking in vitamins and minerals at peak freshness. Independent nutritional analysis shows Cascadian farm vegetables consistently test higher for antioxidants and phytonutrients compared to conventional brands. The taste is noticeably better, crisp, vibrant, without that processed flavor you get from industrial brands. Yes, it costs more than store brands, but you're getting genuine organic quality verified by third-party certification. This is what frozen vegetables should be. Safe. Pick 2. Woodstock Farms Organic. Woodstock has been in the organic game since the 1980s, long before it was trendy. Their frozen vegetables are USDA, certified organic, and non-GMO, project verified, sourced from farms they've partnered with for decades. That long-term relationship means quality control built on trust and verification, not just contracts. Woodstock tests every lot for over 300 potential contaminants, pesticides, heavy metals, mycotoxins. The results are available on their website for any consumer who wants to verify. Their processing facilities are dedicated organic, meaning no cross-contamination from conventional products. The vegetables are hand-sorted to remove defects, then flash frozen using technology that preserves cell structure and nutrient content. Woodstock's commitment to transparency extends to packaging. Every bag lists the origin country, harvest date, and freeze date. You know exactly what you're getting and when it was processed. The flavor is exceptional because nutrient-dense vegetables simply taste better. Woodstock proves that organic frozen vegetables can compete with fresh on quality while offering superior convenience. This is clean food done right. Safe. Pick 3. 365. Whole Foods Organic. The top spot goes to 365 by Whole Foods because they combine organic certification, rigorous testing, and genuine affordability. Every 365 frozen vegetable product is USDA organic certified and non-GMO verified. Their quality standards program verifies pesticide residue levels, heavy metal content, and microbial safety for every batch. The sourcing is transparent with detailed information about farming regions and practices available to consumers who ask. 365 partners with organic farms that use regenerative agriculture methods, building soil health while producing nutrient-dense vegetables. The processing happens in dedicated organic facilities with separate equipment and strict protocols preventing contamination. Flash freezing occurs within 4 to 6 hours of harvest, preserving maximum nutritional value. Independent testing consistently shows 365 organic vegetables retain higher levels of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants compared to conventional competitors. The taste is outstanding, clean and vibrant, with none of that freezer burn or processed flavor you get from industrial brands. Best of all, 365 prices their organic frozen vegetables competitively with mid-range conventional brands. You're getting top-tier quality without the premium markup other organic brands charge. This is the brand to choose if you're serious about clean eating without breaking your budget. There you have it. 10 frozen vegetable brands filling your freezer with pesticides, processing shortcuts, and outright deception. And 3 that actually deliver nutrition and purity worth paying for. The next time you're in the frozen aisle, remember, cheap vegetables aren't saving you money if they're costing you your health. Premium branding doesn't mean premium quality unless transparency backs it up. Switch to one of those 3 clean brands and feel the difference in your energy, your digestion, and your peace of mind. What's the worst frozen vegetable experience you've had? Strange taste made you sick? Found something disturbing in the bag and not? Drop your story below. Let's see how many of us have been eating contaminated vegetables without knowing it. If this video just changed your grocery list, hit that like button and subscribe for more truth. The food industry doesn't want you to know. Now go clean out that freezer. Your body will thank you. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, read the labels, and keep rising.